think it was important for Nordson to move into Europe and Germany because in Europe there was a large packaging OEM base at that time. There was a large industry of packaging machinery builders. So with the move into Europe, the company was able to pull on end users because not many of those machine builders at that time used hot melt adhesive for their packaging processes. But with getting a larger end user base, it was possible for Nordson to develop a very large OEM base. For Nordson, it was strategically important to do that. So they had been able to develop large OEM volumes. And last but not least, with the OEM base, also selling expenses were considerably lower than if you just pull on end users. So it was that pull and push strategy, I think, at that time that made it very important and made the base for a large success in packaging. We had dedicated teams with very professional people. Some of our people had entrepreneurial skills. Many people had passion about what they did. So it's about people in the first place. Secondly, I think what made us strong, not only in Europe, but in general worldwide, is that Nordson always was one step ahead. So being able to strategically plan your business and execute it well so that the operational side benefited from the strategic plans, I think is one of the strengths that Nordson has in general, but especially also in Europe. And last but not least, I think market intelligence. People who sense what the customer needed, people who sense where a new market opportunity would develop. I think that helped us a lot to be very competitive, to develop the business strongly. I strongly believe local application and product engineering has been a key to our success, because if you imagine in Europe with all these different countries, it was important that Europe had the flexibility to see what the customer wants and apply local application and product engineering, especially for the downstream equipment, to serve these customers well. One example for me is nonwovens. At the time when I joined the company was something that was a kind of a new approach. People felt that there's an opportunity in that marketplace. There was hardly any OEM existing. I remember that in the first place we had an Italian shoe machine manufacturer. And that shoe machine manufacturer wanted to do a diaper machine. So we helped him with our application engineering to develop those applications for his machinery. And that, in my opinion, is a wonderful example of how you can develop a marketplace through application engineering, product engineering. And today, nonwovens, I think, is one of the examples of a very nice market, well served, very profitable. I think there are still tremendous opportunities through the OEM market. Emerging marketplaces, if you look at places like China, India, the OEMs will help us to grow into those marketplaces. The continued market approach, the woodworking, the bookbinding, the nonwovens, there's a lot of opportunities still out there. I strongly believe still rely on local forces anywhere in the world that can help the customers develop those marketplaces. With the market intelligence that is inside the company right now, I think we have all the tools, we have all the possibilities to develop those. But at the end of the day, the world is changing again, and I think it is important to be there, to understand what the industry wants and take our advantages from there. I'm excited about where the company goes. I have been excited about the people I have been able to work with. I only can say thank you to everybody who supported that business. I think it's a great business. It's a great company. And with that, I stay tuned. Let's say it that way.